So our speaker understands something every successful travel professional knows firsthand. In a crowded market, the brands, the people who win are the ones who are remembered, right? That's why I tell you guys, pick good names for yourselves. Dave Farrow is a 2-time Guinness World Record holder for the greatest memory. He's earned his title by memorizing the exact order of 59 decks of fully shuffled playing cards, a feat that later became the foundation for a practical memory system that anyone could use. And he's gonna go to the casino for us. You just give him money, he's gonna go play, and we're all gonna win. Give him a round of applause for that. There you go. There, Dave. What makes Dave's work especially relevant for business audiences is that his methods aren't theory or talent-based. The system he developed to treat his severe ADHD and dyslexia was later validated in a double-blind neuroscience study conducted through McGill University. And thousands of students' feedback confirming that these techniques measurably improve memory performance. Dave is also the founder of Farrow Communications, a PR marketing firm who helps experts stand out, get booked, and become unforgettable in their industries. First, I want to personally thank you for handling my business of Puffs, T.A.S.K, Elite, all of it. He's my PR guy and has to deal with me for years, since COVID. And he even put me in the news during COVID. That says a lot. His work and insights have been featured in the New York Times, the Today Show, Dr. Oz, Steve Harvey, and the Discovery Channel. Today, Dave is going to show us how memory attention, brain-based communication directly impacts sales, client trust, and long-term relationships, especially in a relationship-driven business like travel. Please join me in welcoming Dave Farrow.
All right, everyone give her a hand. Actually, Tammy, can you hand out some of the flyers? Yeah. It's got notes on there, because, memory, right, to remember. Well, first off, I want to tell you that I was not born with a fantastic memory. In fact, I do forget things. Nobody's perfect. In fact, if I was born with like the best memory in the world, then my course would be pretty simple. It would just be like, be me, right? In actuality, I had one of the most terrible memories. I have ADHD and dyslexia. When I was a kid, the real challenge was that I did test as a high IQ person, but I couldn't test well academically. Has anybody here felt that way, that you feel like you're smart, but you just can't, you get into a test or an academic situation and you freeze or stress out or something, blank out, yeah. So what I did was, I decided to kind of go on a journey to discover everything I could about my memory, mnemonics, mentalism, speed reading, things like that, and I became really good at it, and now I teach it for a living. I don't do it from an ivory tower that I'm perfect. I do it from a place of like, hey, I'm flawed, we're all flawed, but here's some strategies that work for me, and this is what can work for you. Is that a little better? Then I did get in the Guinness Book of World Records. My record has not been broken. I have done demonstrations. I've memorized hundreds of people's names and memorized thousands of foreign language vocabulary in a weekend and things like that. So you absolutely can do superhuman things. The real surprising thing to me is that we all have a much more powerful brain than we think, but we just have to know how to use it. So in the short time that I have, I'm going to teach you a couple of memory techniques. But very quickly, we're going to get into how this applies to business, because when you flip the script on memory and you actually know how to get your customers to remember you, right? That's where the money is. There's a reason why I'm doing this part of the business, right? And I run a marketing business because there's so much more potential for helping people in this stage. So what I'd like to do is start off with a little warm-up. I need a volunteer who has a good handwriting. You can write something down for me. You want to help me out, Gina? Oh, you can sit there. You can type it in your phone too. Here's what we're going to do. The first thing that I want to get past is the idea that you're born with a particular type of brain and nothing you do can change it. Everybody has issues, whether it's like OCD or ADD or all the Ds, I don't know. Who came up with the term dyslexia, by the way, right? This is the term for people who reverse letters and can't spell things, and they invented the most difficult word in the English language to spell, right? I mean, while I'm at that, who came up with the term for Asperger's? Think about this. This is a condition where people say exactly what's on their mind without a filter, and they called it Asperger's. Like, you're just asking for trouble here. Like, they got ADD right? They got, like, that's short, sweet. We don't have patience for a long explanation, just ADD. We had to add the H in there because we're a little energetic, you know, ADHD. All right, so what I want to do is, this is going to be a standard test for memory that's done at Harvard Memory Labs. If you've ever had anybody in your family who has dealt with memory loss, have you ever had somebody who dealt with Alzheimer's? Is there anybody who wants to put up their hand? Yeah, it does affect a whole lot more people than we think. My grandmother as well. She passed away from Alzheimer's. But not to bring the crowd down, but there is a lot of work that can be done with that. There's a number of studies that are very clear that if you train your brain, you cut your risk for memory loss and dementia by as much as half or more. And we can get into that. You can ask me about that afterwards if you're curious about that. I'm not going to go too much into the health side of things, but it's just good for you if you train your brain. It's good for you if you try to do something about the thoughts in your head instead of letting them control you. Does that make sense? All right. What we're going to do is a simple test for memory. And this is done at Harvard. This is done if you were to take your grandmother in to test her memory. This is what your doctor would do. It's a standard test for memory, but I'm going to do a little twist on it. So what I would like, Gina, if you could take a list down. What we're going to do is we're going to come up with a random list of objects. So what you would do if you had a family member who had dementia, you would bring them into the doctor, and the doctor would do this standard test. It would have about 10 to 12 objects, ordinary things, person, place, or thing, a noun. And he would say a bunch of them, and then he would ask a couple of medical questions. You know, what's your heart rate and things like that? When were you born? And then he would ask, hey, how many things on that list do you remember? And this test has been done nearly 1 billion times. We have more data on this than anything in the area of cognitive science. And the results are not good. Okay. In the past, the 70s and 80s, people would score about 7 or 8 items on this list of 10 or 12. And now we're about 5 or 6.